don't know exactly where the bathroom is, but in the master bathroom, you could see on the ceiling like little brown droplets everywhere. And when I came out on the appointment, the seller saw me looking at it. He was like, yeah, nicotine.
In 2010, I started making music and began the journey to do something different in life. After countless hours in the studio, touring, and millions of views online, it never really blew up how I planned. In 2017, I found wholesaling and started pursuing real estate part-time. From all the lessons learned through music, fitness, and a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, I was able to create a multiple six-figure income and build a successful company with my partner Wes, and we're just getting started.
What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to the show that doesn't have a name but already has a name, because we're doing 3 episodes in one day without a name, but now it has a name. We are back at one of our other projects here in Reno. We're about 2 blocks east of the University of Nevada, Reno here. Bought this one a little bit ago, so this is kind of a middle of the rehab episode here. And believe it or not, it's actually looking better than when we bought it. This whole front area, backyard, side yard was so overgrown you could barely even see the house. So we've made some improvements already, but yeah, let's go inside and check it out. All right, we're in. So yeah, this one is already obviously in construction. We're down to the studs, and this is gonna be a super big job for us. Everything's ripped out of here. This was the living room with a fireplace. So this is actually looking a lot better than when we bought it, believe it or not. This was the kitchen here, and we've already done some roof work up here. You can see all this wood is new. This house, as you probably saw from the outside, has a super flat roof on it. So you peel this back and you're just looking at the sky, which is pretty interesting. But there was some major water damage right here, and half of the drywall that was here was sitting on the floor when we bought it. We had our roofer come out and already repair that, so that's looking good. Obviously we have no power right now, but there was a wall right here. This was a bedroom. This is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house right now. So we had a couple of bathrooms back here, a couple more bedrooms. Not really too much to show. It's just kind of ripped down to the studs right now. It'll be an interesting project. I'll dive more into that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's no gross stuff to look at anymore. There was, I remember, I don't know exactly where the bathroom is, but in the master bathroom, you could see on the ceiling like little brown droplets everywhere. And when I came out on the appointment, the seller saw me looking at it. He was like, yeah, nicotine, like just from smoking cigs. He was like, all that stuff was in there, and everything's all ripped out now. We're ready to start doing some work. All right, so let's dive a little bit deeper into the details on this deal. This is actually the same as when we bought it. There's a ton of water damage right here, but over there, they already ripped the siding off, so it looks a little bit different. But how we found this deal, I got this deal from a wholesaler as well. It was kind of a hybrid deal. I had been working on this as one of our leads as well, and then an out-of-state wholesaler from Los Angeles area was working on it. We bought another deal from them, and then they were like, hey, we got another one for you. And as soon as they said it's got a flat roof, I was like, is it this one? They're like, yeah. We kind of played it both ways. We took the appointment as if we were gonna buy it. They ended up getting it under contract for way too much money. I told them it was gonna be way too much money, but they had it for like $230 or something, like way off on their numbers. And they ended up renegotiating with the seller down to $169. We bought it for $175. So they made $6 grand. Funding this deal, we used Civic, which is one of the lenders that we use quite often. So I can't remember the exact numbers. I think they funded 115 or so on the purchase price, and then 100% of the rehab cost. And then for that remaining 60 or 65,000, we raised that from a private investor that we have a relationship with here. Civic's in first position on the deed, investors in second position on the deed. If there was ever some sort of foreclosure situation, they get paid off in that order. So we're no money out of pocket on the deal. That's how we usually fund them. Originally, we bought this just as a flip. There's a pretty good comp a couple streets away that went for like $355, but it's a much better looking house than this. This house will basically never have curb appeal because the roof is so flat. That one had a nice pitched roof, just a better looking house. I think we ran our resale number at about $325 when we bought this. After we closed on it, this one in this neighborhood, a lot of the garages are converted into living space, and this one still has the garage. So we kind of started looking at it as, okay, we could probably add a bedroom here and turn it into a rental. Since we're only 2 blocks away from the school, the college rentals over here, we can rent them by the bedroom, and they rent way better than a normal single family house would rent for. So originally when we were looking at it, it was kind of funny. We were like, okay, it's 3 bedroom, we could do a 4th bedroom, and like we could rent 4 beds. And then we were looking at it, we're like, wait, this thing's already a 4 bed. And then the garage is pretty big, like we could get 2 more bedrooms in there. So that's when we really started looking at it as a rental. So my partner Wes really did a lot of work on this before we bought it, and since we've bought it, we've owned it already for probably a month or 2, and you know, all the demos done now and the roof has been repaired, but not much else has happened besides that, because he's been doing so much work on really turning this thing into a rental and shooting the new floor plan and all that stuff. So taking our time with this one, and we're basically doubling the rehab budget. When we bought it, we thought we were going to spend about 65 in rehab, needed a ton of work. Now we're at like 130 in rehab, so it's a big job. We are converting to a 6 bedroom, 3 bath house, no garage. Where we're standing right here on the side of the house will be converted into parking area, as well as more of the front yard. So we'll be able to do that. So we're adding 2 bedrooms, adding a bathroom. We're doing double fridges in the kitchen, and just totally redoing the layout of the house. So it's going to be definitely one that we'll keep for at least 10 years. It's going to rent really good. It's one that we might be able to do the BRRRR strategy on, which is where you buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. The whole deal with that is you want to be, your all-in number, your purchase plus your rehab wants to be what you could refinance for, so you can pull all of your money out. And that's almost impossible in this area because our prices are so high versus what we get for rents over here. So we might be able to pull all of our cash out on this deal, or at least just leave a little bit in. It'll still cash flow as a rental. So yeah, again, to recap, 175 purchase, you know, 130 in rehab, and then we're not planning on selling it. We're gonna rent this, and I think we'll be able to get probably about 700, 750 per room, because we can rent them by the room to the college kids. So as far as timelines go on this house, like I said, you know, we're taking our time. Probably won't be finished until May or so. So it'll be a few months, but it'll be worth it. You know, it's a long-term rental for us. It's a long-term hold, a long-term place. So we're spending a lot of money, but it's gonna be pretty badass when we're done. It's gonna be a totally different property than when we bought it. We might be able to fit a few episodes here because it's such a big job, but we'll definitely come back. We'll get Wes on the next episode for this one, so he can go through the scope with you guys and really explain more of the work that he did as far as figuring out the parking situation and shooting the floor plan and working with the contractors and all that. Make sure to hit that like button, help us out with the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this deal or anything about real estate investing, flipping, wholesaling, rentals, anything like that. We'll be back with a few more episodes at this property, and we'll see you on the next episode.